Well, November 5th is an important date in U.S. political history as Franklin Roosevelt, Woodrow Wilson, and Richard Nixon all won elections on this day. But in 1940, Roosevelt not only won the election, but a historic third term as president. One America's Cameron Kramer has the full story.
Remember the 5th of November. Franklin Delano Roosevelt certainly had a reason to remember the day in 1940. The American voters weighed in, and Roosevelt won a record third term as president. FDR had led the nation through the throes of the Great Depression, but now a new challenge was brewing across the Atlantic. Hitler's Nazi Germany was on the rise. In 1939, Germany invaded Poland, sparking declarations of war on Germany by France and the UK. Believing he was the only man able to lead the nation through the situation, Democrat or Republican, Roosevelt declared his intentions for a third term. Chicago's Mayor Edward Joseph Kelly voiced his support at the DNC.
We will stand and put forward and confirm again that God sent guardian of our liberty, the kind of man that mankind needs, our beloved President Franklin D. Roosevelt.
But Republicans disagreed, including the man who would ultimately become Roosevelt's opponent.
If you elect me President of the United States, I shall never send an American boy to fight in any European war.
Wendell Willkie was a businessman turned politician, first a Democrat and then a Republican. He rallied against Roosevelt's policies.
And I fought for the reforms of the elder La Follette and Theodore Roosevelt and Woodrow Wilson before another Roosevelt adopted and distorted the word liberal.
Willkie had never before run for public office and was seen by many citizens as a new type of candidate and a fresh face for the party. Riding a whirlwind of support, he bested Thomas Dewey and Robert Taft to secure the Republican nomination. But on this day in 1940, the public would ultimately side with Roosevelt. This map shows how the vote broke down, red for Willkie and blue for Roosevelt. FDR secured big gains in big cities, as Cincinnati was the only town with over 400,000 people to not side with the Democrat. But Willkie polled well in rural areas, and while FDR secured the victory, he's one of only 3 presidents to win re-election with a lower percentage of electoral and popular votes than they received in the prior election. James Madison and President Obama are the others to share the dubious distinction. Roosevelt would go on to win a 4th term as president, but he would die in office. The 22nd Amendment was passed in 1947 to limit presidents to 2 terms, ensuring that FDR, who won his historic 3rd term on this day in 1940, will be our nation's only 3-term president. Cameron Kramer, One America News.